Hi, everyone. My name is Lanie, and welcome to In My Era podcast. You're probably like, who is this bitch? But here I am, and I'm so excited to be here today. This has been a long time coming. You want to take it away?
Hi guys, welcome back this week. As you can see, we're here with the lovely Lanie, and I am eating a handful of Skittles. It's melting in my hands. Let's just see. Lanie is one of my friends who I wanted to have on, so she's on, and today we're going to talk about, I don't know, we're just going to yap and see where it goes, and she's a deep thinker, and so I think that this could go great places.
Hi, everybody. I was born and raised in San Diego, California. I do like to sing. I meant to tell you, but I met with someone yesterday I'm going to be releasing an album, and we really worked on it and basically figured out the whole business plan. Okay. And we haven't decided an exact release date, but it's a work in progress.
That's exciting.
I know. I'm really excited. Okay. But yeah, how did we meet? Oh my God, I met you out at Shelter. Oh my God, because your feet were hurting. Yeah.
I got glass in my foot. I took my heels off in the bar because my feet were hurting so bad, and I got shards of glass in my feet.
Mind you, this club, it's a club. It is a club, and it is so packed, okay? Haley's walking around. I think I held your shoes at one point. I'm like, hi, what's your name? You're like, Haley. I'm like, give me your shoes. And you're like, thank you. And I'm like, I don't know if this girl will remember me, but I felt so bad. And you're like, it's fine. I'll just walk around. I was like, give me your shoes. I'm going to get you a Band-Aid. We're going to get this figured out because...
Didn't you sit me down at this table? Yeah. There's how there's private tables at a club? No, I don't think you put the Band-Aid on my foot, but you sat me down at this private table. You asked this private party who paid so much money for this table. You're like, can my friend sit here? She has glass in her foot. And they were like, yeah, of course. So I sat with them, and they were just chatting with me, and I was wearing no shoes at this club, and it was crazy. I forgot about that.
I did too. Also, I just have to point out, I love that you have your pinky out while you're holding this. What? Yeah, you do. And you know what I do? I mean, now I'm doing it in, honor of you. Yeah. But I always do that too. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm drinking something, I'm just pinky out. Mm-hmm. But it also is good manners. Yeah. So it's natural for me to just want my pinky to be out.
I was thinking, because it's kind of crazy that I met you going out because I rarely go out. But that night that I met you was Megan's birthday.
So I met you on that night out. And then, dude, I kept seeing you on my For You page. And I was like, dude, this girl is so cool. And there was one other, I've actually done that a few times, people where I've been like, not going to lie, I've seen you on my For You page. You seem cool. We should hang out. It's fine if not. But I'm just going to put it out there. And then you're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, was this one of those yes? Or is it yeah, we should. And then we hung out and I was like, oh. And I was happy because we were talking about this the other day. But I feel like sometimes you hang out with someone and what they are on social media is not reflective of who they are in real life. And it's and that's why your whole sense of reality with social media is actually just a lie. Yeah. Because it's okay, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do. I know what you mean. And I remember, so we said we were going to hang out and we wanted to go to the beach or something. And I remember, I'm literally, I told Lanie I was going to get to the beach before her because she had to work until noon and I had the day off. So I was like, I'm going to go early. So I'm in the fucking zone at the beach, you guys. I'm blasting my beach music. I'm marinating in the sun. It feels so perfect. I'm laying face down into the towel, out like a starfish. My legs, my arms are completely spread out. I am face down, ass up in a starfish on the beach. And Lanie just walks up to me and she goes, Haley? And I was like, oh my God, it's you. And she's like, I had a feeling this would be you. And I was like, yeah.
Well, that was the thing too, is because I feel from your social media, you gave me that vibe of just carefree. But then I feel there's times I've met people where they act like that, and then you meet them and you're like, oh, okay, this is all facade. This isn't real. You're not actually like this. So as soon as I saw that, that was for me, it was a green flag because I was like, oh my God, she actually doesn't care. Yeah. And that is relief for me. Yeah. Like the more people don't care, the more respect I have for them, because I feel like it's so hard to like step outside of societal norms. Yeah. But I feel like so many people try to be different, but their version of different is just copying other people's different. And honestly, that's something that I like also am working on and figuring out myself, because it's like some days I'm like, oh my God, I'm just copying so-and-so. But then I'm like, I don't know. But I feel like recently I've kind of locked in and been like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Especially with music, I feel like it's helping me. Yeah. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think the hardest part with social media and life in your early 20s in general, but like exasperated through social media, is being yourself. Because like, well, who the fuck am I? Yeah. And I think a lot of times with social media, people are more concerned about blowing up or being famous, that they don't care how they get famous. They just care about getting famous. And oftentimes I feel like the quickest way to get famous is to follow the trends. Whereas I think there are a few certain people who are just like themselves online, and then like, oh, they happen to go viral. Anyways, so it was very refreshing meeting you, because I also feel like you are someone who just doesn't give a fuck, and like you are completely yourself. And I think that it makes me feel comfortable to be myself. And I think it gives me the space to explore myself a little bit further, because I'm like, okay, like Lanie, like you're so unique. So then I'm like, all right, like let's be like, let's see how I can go. Like, let's see if I can be okay.
I have to add on to this, because I feel like I look at you and I'm like, oh my God, Haley, you're so unique. And like, there was one video in particular that I was like, oh my God, you're so cool. It was the one where you were like, I don't remember exactly, but you're like, I'm just going to tell you like who I am. And it might not be like the picture, you know, and you just like literally were so vulnerable. And I feel like that's something that I struggle with, like on the social media side of things, is like showing up as like myself. And you are so good at like, you know, that could be broadcasted to like 1 million people if it goes viral. And you like, but I feel like what's really cool about like the content that you put out, like you're really good and you got to keep going, because you, like, I know you now, but people that don't know you, you touch them in a way that I feel like you don't even know. It touched me to the point where I was like, oh, I want to hang out with her. Aww. And now I'm excited because I have a friend. Yeah. And what's cool is I can say that she's actually like that, because I feel like there's a lot of people that it's like, no, they're not really. And it's like, you know, so I had to add that. Oh.
Wait, okay, that means so much to me, because I feel like the past few months, honestly, the past month, I have felt like this huge crisis when it comes to social media, where it's like, I don't want to post anything. This is random. But I feel like if I post a video that feels really authentic to me, I feel like it gets the lowest engagement. And then I'm like, holy shit. Or I'm like, I'll post something that's like really myself, and it'll be like 20 shares, and I'm like, oh fuck, bro, it's like 20 shares, 5 likes, and I'm like, oh fuck. But then if I post some random video that's just cutesy, then it's like, oh, like this gets like 30,000, and I'm like, the fuck, I don't understand. Anyway, well, so
okay. Here's what I will say is, because like, yes, maybe it's getting 20 shares, but you have to think that even your haters, they're literally bringing you up, because 20 shares means more engagement. True. And more engagement means that in some capacity, that person had enough energy and enough care to engage in your video. Yeah. So it's like, and I'm saying that now, I think what I need to work on is like practicing what I preach, because I cannot for the life of me, like, people are always like, oh my God, Lanie, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as I try and post on social media, I'm like, I'm a shell of a human. Yeah. And you're very good at like, blah, I'm going to be me and blah. And I actually like, it's funny that you say that like, the videos of you being yourself get the lowest engagement, because I feel like they get the most engagement. Oh. And I feel like there's so many people that reach out in your comments and are like, oh my God, like I resonate with that. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about how a lot of times I just think when you aren't, let's say you're not getting like the feedback that you thought that you would get on a post, or you're not getting anything, and like you're going at it for so long, and you keep trying, and you're still posting, you're still making music, or you're still doing whatever, and it's just not quite landing. I think everyone kind of just stops and asks themselves like, okay, like what am I doing? What's the point? Like what's the point? And I think the difference between the people who will make it one day, it's like it's the people who just genuinely love to do it. It's like you have to just genuinely love making videos or making music or writing. And then if it gets to be successful one day, that's a byproduct of you loving the process.
Yes, because I do think like the things that stick are when people can feel real emotion. If you're just creating content for the monetary purpose, like you could just be really good at being fake, like that one girl. And so, but I do think that like that is, where was I going with this? My ADHD is kicking in. Exactly. Emotion is what makes people stick around. And so I do think it's very interesting, like even with music or being a content creator in any form, it's like you have to like commit yourself. Like this is something I'm learning right now actively, is especially last night when we had our big sit down and we talked about everything. Like I need to, you need to, or anyone who wants to do this needs to actively commit to making a mental investment. Maybe it's monetary as well, but a mental investment into this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to own it and I'm going to do it. That's the first step. The second step is continuously doing it. You can't just do one song and think you're going to blow up. And if you have the thought process of I'm doing this to blow up, you're not going to, because you're not doing it for the right reasons. The reasons should be that you are actually passionate about it. And once again, the emotion. If people can feel the emotion, they're going to feel what you're putting out. I don't know. You know Lauren Daigle?
Only from that one cover you did.
Well, I feel like she does a great job at like really articulating emotion through her music. Like you're not going to be at the club and be like, oh my God, I want to hear You Say by Lauren Daigle. Because it's like a very specific song and she is honed in on her emotion. And so it's like, I think that is something that's so critical. But I think you're nailing that with your content right now. And like your podcast too. I've seen your episodes. Like, so yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
I am grateful for that and grateful for you. A little bit of a pivot. I have a question for you. Okay, so when we like met and hung out for the first time, I don't even know how it came up that like you like music and like sing, and I don't even know how it came up exactly. But like I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. Like how did you learn that you loved singing, and how did you get into music, and what made you want to be like, okay, I want to do an album? Like what was it?
I started singing like on my living room table. Like I was showing videos to my friend today. Like when I was 4 years old, I would stand on my living room table in my house and I would beg my mom. She would turn on the camcorder and I'd be like, just film me, just film me, just film me. And I would literally, I'm not even kidding, I would just come up with like songs on the spot, like what I do today, except now I'm writing. But these videos are really rough. They're in the vault somewhere. But yeah, so I started doing that. I taught myself how to sing. Taught myself how to sing when I was 4 or like maybe 3. And then once I got to an age where I was like, okay, I want to like start actually doing this, I started doing like musical theater. I think I started doing that when I was like 6, but it was just kind of like little plays here and there. I did my first talent show at my school. I want to say I was 7. I sang The New Girl in Town from Hairspray. And like, I was like a little string bean. I just remember getting up on that stage. I was so scared, but I was like, I love this. Like the feeling was electric. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. And ever since then, I've just been chasing that feeling. Even when I would be like in my living room and nobody's there, I was just like loving the idea of constantly creating and having complete control over this. You know what I mean? Like I literally have complete control over this whole situation. And then, so then I did musical theater for like a very, very long time. I think that my experience with musical theater led me to where I am today, because I think that like it wasn't really cast in any roles, and that affected my confidence like greatly. But I think it also was like a sign for me to like pivot and then I'm not gonna lie, I stopped singing for like 3 years, and then I slowly started doing covers, and then And then my freshman year, like, met this guy and I was like, oh my God. And then I like wrote a song about it and I was like, you know, down bad and whatever. And then I stopped singing again. I've noticed that like most of my like musical inspiration comes from like hard times, which I guess makes sense because that's where like the emotion lies. The album, is that what your question was too? Like where the part of like my 2025 like New Year's resolution was to like really give singing a chance and really give it a go because my entire life I have been like, no, 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 like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not good enough. And I think, like, that's why the musical theater experience had, like, a really big toll on me because I was like, I already didn't believe myself. And then it was like, I really didn't believe in myself. So I was like, phew. But I always, my mom's friend, I remember I would go over to her house. I remember her telling me, she was like, the biggest mistake you will ever make is not, like, actually pursuing music. And that stuck with me. Like literally every time that I want to give up, I'm like, I hear her voice being like, if you don't actually try this out, you're an idiot. And I was like, whoa, because that put into perspective, like could do this, but I need to believe in myself. And I think that is way harder than even the action of doing it. In my opinion, that's the hurdle that I have to get over amongst like a trillion others. I've had so many light bulb moments. I was driving. I just told you this when I just walked in the door. I was driving on PCH and I was like, there's like a record label that's right on like the street over there. I know. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to do it. Like I actually feel like I am going, like I called my producer today and I was like, dude, like we're like on a path. Like we're doing it. Does it mean that I'm going to become Lady Gaga? I don't know. But that's not why I'm doing it. And that is what is important, is figuring out my why. And my why is that I want to empower and inspire people. And I want to be a vessel that people can feel comfortable in my music. Because I feel like people feel comfortable around me. And I think that my music could be an even safer haven for people. Like you cried when you heard my song, which was like very touching. Yeah, that's my really long-winded story of like everything.
Well, I'm glad you shared it all. I feel like it was, I mean, wow. Okay, it was a long story. But like that's the reality of it is things aren't always like, oh, well, I went to this and that was that, the rest is history.
Yeah.
The reality is it takes a lot. And there's a lot of highs and lows and like moments where you you forget about it, but then you come back to it. And I think I have this personal belief that we all have like a life path that we're meant to follow. Yes. And it's like sometimes you stray from your path and usually you can feel it. Like usually you get down bad. But then it's like as soon as you start doing the things that like are aligned with your life path, like you feel like you're in a flow and you feel exactly. Yeah. And it feels like one of those things where it's like everything falls into place so effortlessly. And yeah, that's my belief, is that you're on the path.
Have you seen the movie Soul?
Yeah, the little animated one.
Yeah, because it's like all about that.
Okay, I watched it, honestly, I think before I could understand, aka like a year and a half ago, and I don't think I could understand it even then. I think if I watched it now, it would speak to me a little bit better. I'll watch it today. You have to. Because yeah, I think
we should watch it after this, like low-key. Okay, because I just have to say, like, Soul is what keeps me, I'm not kidding, it's what keeps me grounded, because there is like, basically, the overarching thing is like, everybody has a sole purpose in this life. And although it is an animated movie, like it goes way, way deeper than that. And there's this one guy who's like destined to play the piano. And every time he plays the piano, the keys light up. Like his aura lights up. And like that, like I'm not kidding. When I sing, I'm levitating. Also, Haley likes to sing and she's amazing. So I'm curious as to how that journey began. I'm gonna boomerang that right on back over to you because I don't know if you guys can tell, but my voice is gone. So it is your time to take the starshine.
Yeah, I do love to sing. And I honestly have hated talking about it before this year. Like I wouldn't tell anyone. People would be like, oh, can you sing? I'd be like, no. No, I don't like, no, I'm not for me, bro. Not for me. I just stay quiet. No, but I love it. I love it. And I have loved it my whole life. And I think it's interesting. I feel like my journey with music, it all started with Just Dance. Like, let's just fucking bring it to Just Dance, right?
Really?
Yeah, fucking Carrie Underwood on Just Dance, her song, Hey Good Girl.
Hey,
Yeah,
good girl.
exactly. I would fucking go crazy to that song. And I remember my mom, she would just be like, wow, like, Haley, you're kind of good at this. And it was cool because when I was little, like, my mom loved to sing. She loved to sing. And so that was kind of like her thing. And so I think maybe me not wanting to talk about music or even try music or pursue, like, literally all of that, I think comes from, number one, me feeling like I'm not good enough to do it. And B, I think it's like a connection for me to people who have hurt me. So it's like, fuck, like I kind of try and avoid it because even though I love to write and like I love to sing, even though I love it, it's almost like I avoid it because it makes me feel like I'm living in the past attached to people who I feel like don't even know me anymore. Like I feel like when I write music, first of all, like 99% of it's sad, right? Like it's rooted in pain. And like the darkest versions of myself that like no one has ever met. Like no one's seen that side.
I just have to say that like, yeah, I really resonate with what you're saying. And I really understand how uncomfortable it is. I mean, like really like, but something that I did learn in my confidence class, as well as just advertising, like this other class as well. I think it was my account management class actually. But I learned about how vulnerability is courage. And I know that's like, okay, it's cheesy, but it is like very true. And I think it's extremely, there's a very strong relationship between that and, singing, is because I think the best songwriters, the best singers have emotion in their song. And I do think that like, I almost think that the fact that it makes you so uncomfortable is what makes it so right. Yeah. Because another thing is, I'm going to shout out my old tennis coach, Anya. But she had me write this down. I had to have it in my room. I remember on my wall to look at every single day for like the 7 years that I played tennis. Right choices are hard and wrong choices are easy. I do think that you owe it to yourself, like not even like anyone out there, like you owe it to yourself because you're like songwriting. I mean, your voice is so beautiful. It's so like crisp and like soft spoken. It is. It's like Billie Eilish, but no, it is. And like, I get it. It's uncomfortable. Trust me. Like, let me tell you, like, I really struggle, but I've been trying to like, just get over it. I'm like, if you want to do this, you have to get over it. You have to. And I'm not even saying this. I'm just saying this like in general, I have to just get over it. So it's what I've been telling myself recently. And like, I kind of almost try to like detach myself from it. Like, I'm like, this is the art and this is me. They don't have to be together, even though they are, even though that is me. I'm like, I have to make a literal like detachment in my mind. So long story short, I just want to say like, I think what you're doing is right. Even if it feels wrong, that's another thing. But I think that deep down you do like it. And I think you should keep doing it.
Yeah. Thank you. I think that I will. I think that I will. I have a question. Do you think that everything happens for a reason?
Oh, yo, okay. I feel bad because I'm talking so much, but I have so much to say. 175%. I mean, everything that has happened in my life. And I have gone through some shitty friends. Divine timing. It hit me. It literally hit me. I was like, huh! When I was passing that record label, I was like, huh! Because I was like, holy fuck. Like, I'm not kidding you. I had like the most deja vu, like crazy feeling because like a perfect example, I'm not going to disclose where I live, but I've always wanted to live where I live. I mean, like I've literally talked about this forever. And my parents were like, you're crazy. Like my mom was literally like, that's not going to happen. So look for other places because it's not realistic. And I was like, okay, but I am going to. Just like I am going to live in Italy. And I did. for 4 months. And they were like, what do you mean? You just found a host family? I'm like, yeah, I found a host family and I'm moving there for 4 months or indefinitely. You can't do that, but I tried. But like, I remember I was like, I want to live there. And I have said, literally, I'm not kidding you. I said I wanted to be a singer. There's a difference of when I said it and when I believed it, and those are very drastically different. Believing it was probably the last few years. Saying it, probably when I was 5, maybe 4. But like, you know, everyone wants to be like a rocket scientist, and that's what's so sad is like people like stray from their dreams because I feel like society like dissuades you. It dissuades you from like actually doing your true purpose because we're just trying to pump money out of like everything in the world. And it's like, just take a second to look at the sun shining and notice that your cells are doing what they need to do and you're breathing and live your fucking life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, seriously. But I just feel like it's crazy because I always said I wanted to live where I do now. And the fact that I do, I literally wake up every day and I'm like, I mean, yeah, like you gotta pinch yourself because this is fucking crazy. But like, how amazing is that? Like, and I get so overwhelmed with gratitude. And then I feel like having gratitude. Also, another thing I have to say is I've been manifesting like pretty religiously, like just in my mind mostly, or sometimes I write it down, but I do have a gratitude journal every day. And I will say, I remember telling myself, I'm going to start seeing angel numbers like consistently. I'm not kidding you. I see angel numbers literally every single day. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I saw when I was coming over here, I saw, I saw 222 earlier today. I saw 1111. Like, they're everywhere. Yeah. And it's so cool because it's a constant reminder for me that I'm on my right path. Yeah. And like, I feel like ever since I've been pursuing music, I've been seeing so many angel numbers. And I'm not trying to be like all voodoo and shit, but like,
I like literally see you getting so passionate and like worked up about this, and it's really funny. But it's also like I relate to it, and I think that's also that's something that I like don't really talk about a lot. Yeah. Is like I feel like my own signs from the universe and like my relationship with that, because I agree. I think a couple of like freshman year of college, grab some Skittles, girl. Give me some probably as well. In college, I remember seeing like TikTok videos about people being like, oh, like if you see angel numbers, like, you know, just like random TikTok shit that I thought was crazy. I was like, there's no way that that's real, like whatever. But I was like, whatever. It's in the back of yes. Yeah. You too? Okay, perfect.
Especially during COVID.
Yes. Yeah, I was going through like a minor breakup at that point. Like it was minor. It wasn't severe. It was a minor breakup. I mean, at the time it seemed severe, but it wasn't. And so whatever. I learned about angel numbers. I think it's kind of hippie voodoo, weird shit, whatever. Years go by. This year, I would say, is the first year that I really have felt aligned with myself, aligned with my purpose, aligned with a higher spirit calling, whatever the fuck created. And it's like, I swear to God, I also see angel numbers fucking everywhere, and I also use them as a symbol, and like specifically sevens. Like sevens singularly, sevens plural, no, literally. You too? Because I'll see a 7 and I'll be like, fuck.
Seven is literally my spirit number.
Really? Sevens, if I ever see it, I'm like, okay, this is like a sign from God or the universe, like I'm doing something right. Or here's what I do. And it sounds crazy. I remember the first time I heard it, I thought it was crazy. Now I don't think it's crazy, but I generally don't talk about it because I know that other people perceive it as crazy. So whenever I see an angel number or like a 7 or something, I will be like, okay, what was I thinking about or what was I doing right as I saw that number? Because that is what I take as a sign to like guide me forward. Wow. And it generally is aligned. Like I will be thinking about like, I should do this. And then I'll see a little number and then I'll be like, what? Oh, and then I do it. And then I swear to God, things just unfold. I don't think that it is that crazy. Like now that I've opened myself up to like bigger, like trying to understand or whatever.
I was going to say, isn't it crazy? Because like we deem things as crazy because society tells us, but like it's not crazy at all. And that was going to bring me into my next question for you is like, I think we talked about this before, but we haven't talked about these people. But like, what is your opinion on like energy and like Do you feel energy? Do you like relate to anything I'm saying?
Yeah. For me, I've always felt very, very, very in tune with my sense of feeling with myself, very in tune. And it's like I can meet someone and generally feel their energy right away and then just be like, yes or no. I will say I can be fooled. But like I feel it right away and I always make decisions based off of it. Like I will meet someone and I'll be like, they're a no from me. And then all my friends will be like, what do you mean? And then remain friends with this person. And then a year later it comes out and I'm like, I was telling you from day one. Because yes, energy is real. We are literally made up of energy. We're made up of atoms, which is literally just energy moving around, particles like moving around in energy. It's like our frequency is like how fast those particles are moving around. Anyways, we're not solid. BTW.
Okay. I know this is going to sound like, oh, she's just saying this, like, agree with you. I wish I could pull up like a recording of me saying this exactly. I can feel when somebody is evil. Like literally I could feel it and I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Yep. You are a bad person and I don't want to be associated with you with even our atoms near each other. Like it comes down to the cells, bro.
My thing is, I don't really feel like people are like that evil to a certain extent. It's almost like, for me, energetically, I feel like we all have the equal amount of opportunity to be as good and bright and pure as the next person. I think it's like, we choose our energy. We choose how we express ourselves and like how our energy comes across. So like when I meet someone and they have bad energy, I'll just be like, you know what? I'm taking my space. And it's not because I think that they're a bad person or I look down on them. It's just that I know that for me, my energy is my most valuable currency. Like it's more than anything that could pay my rent or could buy a coffee. Like my energy is my currency, and protecting that is like my biggest priority now that I've realized that. And so I'll meet someone whose energy sucks. Like right away I'm just like, ooh, I do not feel safe. Which is crazy because I feel safe in a lot of situations where I shouldn't feel safe. One time I followed a man to his van and it was full of pacifiers.
I'm sorry. How do you like
That's what everyone always says. His energy was good. I knew that he was safe. And I know that sounds fucking insane, guys.
This is where I'm gonna like. I'm not judging your character. I'm judging your decision making a little. I was gonna say because this is my top of mind. I don't want to forget it because my ADHD is blah blah blah. But do you ever find that in order to protect your energy, you have to isolate yourself?
Yes. That is like literally the story of my whole life. That is the reason I think why I have like ebbs and flows of having friends and not having friends, because it's like I'll feel aligned to people for a certain point of time, the majority of people. So far though, there always comes a time where I'm like, in order to like upgrade my life or upgrade my mindset or like to overcome whatever mental obstacle I'm in, I have to do it alone. Like I can't go hang out with like Veronica and Ellie because Veronica and Ellie are going to be doing the same things that we always do, and I'm not going to be able to upgrade myself if I don't change what I'm doing. And so it's like I have to like kind of isolate myself and really look inward and be like, okay, what can I do to move up? And so yes, isolating is yes, and yep.
Isolating is yes. Well, I was gonna say, it was funny, I was teaching a class the other day and I said, it's so funny, sometimes the things I say I'm like, fuck.
Bars?
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I said so, I was like, change only happens with change.
You said the fuck? Tell me how I was in this class. I was doing Lanie's fucking workout. She's teaching this class. She says change only happens with change. And literally I'm like light bulb in my fucking head. I'm like, God damn, my body is not weak. Like I'm holding this fucking plank for 10 seconds longer because I'm not gonna change. And that has stuck with me ever since I took your class.
Oh my God, really?
Every single day this week, I'll be doing something and I'm like, you know what? Like I would usually do this, but I need to change because that's the only way that things are going to change.
That literally means so much, dude. Because, like, I didn't think that, like, you know, my words had that kind of effect on people. But it has an effect on me subliminally, too. Like, when I said that, I was like, and when you were just saying that, I was like, oh, my God, change only happens with change. And I do agree at some point, you are almost, like, prohibiting yourself from advancing in life if you're just like fucking around and drinking every weekend, or like not even just drinking, but like if you're just screwing around and you're like hanging out at your house with your friends, like there's something to be said about venturing out into the world on your own, because why? Right choices are hard and wrong choices are easy. It is easy to go out with your friends. It is hard, it takes courage, and it is scary to do it on your own. And it's interesting, like, why do we fear so bad? Some people don't fear being alone, but I struggled with that for a while. But I think I also have social anxiety. So, like, that was something too that, like, prohibits me. Not really anymore, but like in the beginning, yes. But I guess where I was going with that was like, yeah, change does only happen with change. And I do agree with you. And, we were talking about like protecting your energy and isolating yourself. And I think, you know what someone told me once? They were like, I feel like you are just like pessimistic. And I was like, what? I'm realistic. I think there's a huge difference between being realistic and pessimistic. What are your thoughts?
I think realistic is a construct that keeps people small. I don't think there is any such thing as realistic. I think that is pessimistic. I think realistic...
I'm realistic, I'm being pessimistic?
I kind of think so. Because I don't think that this is so funny. Reality is not realistic. It's not real. Reality as we know it is a construct that has been made by our society that plays to keep us small. Reality is whatever we make of it. Reality can be whatever we want it to be. Okay,
let me say something, because I 100% agree. And when I say I'm being realistic within the version of what my reality is. Oh. So like, when I'm saying I'm being realistic, I'm not being realistic based on the constructs of society. Oh. I'm being realistic based on my own version of my take of what society looks like to me and the different breakdowns of how that is. So like, if I were to be like, I don't know, Sally might be mad at you, like realistically, that's because I am taking in all the information I have, calculating my metadata in my head and being like, this is my opinion, realistically. Now, pessimistically would be like, yeah, just negative without like reason. And optimistic is just like joy from inside out. Is like, everything's fucking great. It's like, no, that's like that scary AI person that's like always nice. There's something so valuable about being by yourself. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, it's a lot easier to isolate yourself and lift yourself up and then hopefully help bring other people like up with you than it is to rise all together. Like, I can't imagine being with a group of friends and growing as much as I have over the past few years. Exactly. I think I needed to be alone. Like, you can't grow. Like, you stay the same. Yeah.
But there's something so valuable about you having control over who you associate in your life, because in a friend group, your level of control goes from this to this. Yep. And you are now, just like I was in a sorority, you're just a fucking number. That's why I'm not a part of corporate America, because I don't want to be a fucking number. I know that I am worth more than that. I'd like to think I am. I think that people that join friend groups, I don't want to say all people, but to some degree they're insecure because they're like, they are lacking something within themselves. And what happens with friend groups is people are always looking to see who's the person leading us, you know? There's always going to be a queen bee. There has to be. So I was hanging out with somebody and you know, we were just talking and it entered the conversation of, you know, like, why haven't you been with anyone? And he was like, well, I just feel like you'd be so much happier if you were with someone. I literally, and I'll tell you why every fiber in me started to light on fire, was because, one, how dare you even like think that you have the like right to tell me that like, oh, I'm not happy? Yeah. How do you even know? Yeah. You don't even know me anymore. Yeah. You've lost that right. That right is gone. Yeah. maybe you didn't even ever have it. But like the fact that literally this person was like, and then they were like, well, I think maybe you just need to get under someone to get over someone. Yeah. And I was like, are you? Can she guess in it? Can you guess in it? But like literally, I'm so sorry. That is so wrong. And it was so weird because I feel like every time that I've ever been like verbally violated, it's taken me like months to like actually like let it sink in. And I was like, why am I pissed about this? And I was like, oh, I know why. Because like even if this person wanted to be my friend, a friend wouldn't say that. Because like if you even remotely cared about me, you would never say those things, because it's like, then you don't know me, because I actually am happy. And why I find it sad that you think the only way to be happy, or the only way you think I would be happy, is to be with someone. Yeah, I agree. And I don't think that it's pathetic for people to be with people, but honestly, my like vision of even imagining myself with someone is like lessening every single day, because that's going to lead into our conversation of asking for a number and then ghosting. But let's hear your everything.
I think like so many people put their value in their relationships.
It's like therapy.
It is, yeah. And I feel like I definitely used to do this, like especially I think in high school. For some reason I would like bounce from relationship to relationship. It wasn't until like after my first serious boyfriend in college, who honestly fucked me up but blessed me with the greatest honor of putting me on my path, that really like made me stop dating. Like I dated one guy who like the relationship was so awful that it like really brought me back to being like, I have to find happiness with myself or else I'm never going to be okay. Because if I am happy through somebody else, then that's not happiness. That's codependence. You're fully relying on somebody else. I think true happiness can come when you find yourself and you find your happiness within yourself, and then you meet someone who equally has that same happiness and joy within themselves, and then you are able to bring it up together. But I don't think that like your happiness can come from somebody else at all.
Here's what I have to say. I've had a lot of thoughts about this. And what I will say is that I think you can be, because I used to think I have to be completely perfect, completely figured out everything before I have a boyfriend. I view that differently now, because I think it's unrealistic to think, oh my gosh, every single ribbon is going to be completely tied off before I have a boyfriend. I'm going to be perfect and they're going to enter my life. Sometimes somebody enters your life for a reason, as a pathway to open a whole new door for you. Yeah. Now, if you're viewing this person as an escape, like I did with Italy, then that's another thing. But if you're viewing this person as somebody that helps you become a better version of yourself, while you are also putting in the work to become a better version of yourself, then that's okay. But if like right now, if someone were to enter my life, I think I would pretty much be okay with it, because I am like very happy right now. I mean, I do have to get surgery and I'm not excited about that, but I am happy otherwise. And like, I feel like I'm really like aligning with my life, and like things are going really great, and I am just really happy. And I think that like that is like a good sign of like someone entering my life. But at the same time, I'm like fine if they don't enter my life. But what I'm trying to say by that is like, I'm not perfect by any fucking means. I don't think I'll ever fucking be perfect. But like, I am finally following my own path. And I think that by doing that, it will lead me to the right person. Also, do you believe in the invisible string theory?
Yes.
I do too. Oh, that was. Do you have anything to say to it? Or? You're like, I'm going to keep this one to my chest. Yeah, I already think I know what you're thinking. But yeah. But I will say, honestly, same. But I do think that like there also are some like very like, is ancillary the right word to say? If it isn't, it's fucking fine. I'm saying it anyways. But there are ancillary things that have occurred that have continuously made me question like, yeah, no, maybe not.
I think everything happens for a reason. Sometimes I do think there are invisible strings. There's a lot to be said, I think, for intuition and for like, it's weird because I feel like your feelings in this type of feeling are different. Because I feel like emotion is different than like an intuition and energy. Yes. So sometimes I think
Emotion can lie to you.
yes, I think emotion is deceptive. And that's where I have gotten trapped in the past.
As an artist, like, what do you hope, or what is your vision for what your brand is as an artist? Like, how do you want to brand yourself? Or have you thought about that?
I don't think that I've really thought about it that in depth. I just want to be, I think, branded as myself, obviously. But like,
What does that look like?
but what does that look like? Like, just a girl who has a lot of feelings and who's gone through some shit, but like has gotten through it by the creation of art and love. One time somebody asked me, they were like, why do you love so much? Like, why do you love so deeply? Like, why is it that you just pursue love like unrelenting? And I was like, because love is the only thing that heals. It's the only thing. And I was like, me tearing up. No. And like, I just feel like music is a way to express that. Like, music has been the way in which I have felt the most connected to somebody. Like, the most like it's just been everything for me. And so it's like, if I can express like love and emotion through music, then I think that will help guide other people on their own paths.
Wow. I wasn't excited. Like, I knew you were going to have, like, I was like, damn, honestly, if we were at the Academy Awards right now, everybody would be standing up. They would be like, she is the artist of the year, of the century. But, like, seriously, that was really touching. And I think, but, like, Haley, that is why you got to keep doing this, is because, like, it's in you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you need to, like, you owe it to yourself to, like, try. Because, I mean, your lyrics, too, like, they are cutting. Like, I wish I could just take a sliver of that. They're very, very good. They really, really are. And they're so, like, I love when I listen to a song and I'm like, they're going to say this, and then you do. You know what I mean? I'm like, I knew it. And it's like, that's because it's like, you're good. But yeah, I love that, like, that perspective of, like, love heals, because it does. It is, like, that is a very true fact. Yeah. And, like, I do think that, like, and I also think it's important, too, to, like, learn how you want to brand yourself, because, like, it also at the same time can validate, like, the direction you're going. Because if that's what you're striving for, you might already be doing it. We tried to have, like, another, like, mic drop moment, and it just, like, didn't happen. Bars.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, like, people don't know how to pursue them. Like, it's like, you owe it to yourself to pursue this dream, but it's like, how do you do that? Like, right now, I'm sitting in my room, and, like, I'm trying to learn a new production software, and I'm trying to learn how to get into this, but it's like, how do I actually do it? Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like one time I posted a singing video on TikTok, and I wanted to fucking shoot myself in the face. I've literally never felt more embarrassed in my entire life.
I hate to say this, but you're just going to have to push past that uncomfort. I'm serious. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you know, but I posted a reel because I've been really trying to be consistent with my singing videos. And I posted one the other day and it literally got like 500 views. And I was like, I actually thought this was good. Like, I actually thought this was good. And literally nobody's watching it. And people are watching it. They're not liking it. And it's like uncomfortable. Yeah. But it's like, okay, I liked it. And that's what matters. It doesn't need to be a reflection of you. Yeah. And I think that's important to establish as an artist, as your music doesn't have to be you. It is you, but if it is too much of you, then you lose your entire sense of self. You know what I mean? Right. Because people are going to shit on your songs at some point. Yeah, sure. But I do think that, like, you owe it to yourself to try. Yeah. And I know that it's, like, scary, but I will cheer you on if you do. You know what I mean? And it might not be perfect, but if it's, like, I posted that video and I told you it wasn't perfect. Like, it's not. It literally isn't. But I was like, whatever. It's not. I'm not going on the Academy Awards and singing it. Like, it's going to 2,000 followers, if that. But it's like, you know, in order to grow, you literally have to take risks. I don't know. Do you ever feel like you wish you took a risk in your life that you didn't?
I genuinely am confident so far by saying every single risk that I've wanted to take, I've taken. And it has positively worked out. Or at least I've learned a lesson from it that it's been positive. So far, no. Have you?
No, I guess moral of the story is there's sometimes where I'm like, I could have. But on a very short scale, like sometimes I'll see a guy at the club and I'm like, he's so cute. I should have gone up to him and I never did. And I'll never know. Like, if that could have been something. And that's what's so annoying about like our fear of like rejection. Because I think that's like really woven into our like minds. Because I don't know if you ever think about this, but like there was a certain point in our childhood when we were like just switched and started caring about what everyone thought. But it's so sad because like children are the like I feel like the key to life, you know what I mean? Like they're the essence of innocence. They're the essence of purity. They're the essence of what it means to like truly, truly be alive and not give a fuck.
I think about that when I look back on being little. I looked up to my dad so much. Like he was like everything to me. I think I idolized him. Beside the point. I remember I was so little, like maybe like 5. And I was crying because I was like, Dad, like, I want you to, like, always be here. Like, I just want to, like, always play with you. And he was like, Haley, like, there's going to be a time that comes where, like, you aren't going to want me around. And, like, you're not going to want me to drop you off. Like, you're going to want me to drop you off around the block. And I remember I cried and cried and cried thinking about the time where, like, I was going to switch. Like, my brain was going to care about what everyone else thought. And I was going to lose sight of, like, my dad and, like, my relationship with him. And I think that it's interesting because it was like as a child, like I was so loving and like so wanting to like be close to like my close relationships. And I think when you go through those levels of elementary school and middle school, you become so concerned with what everyone around you is thinking that you forget what you actually think is important, which is like the people that you truly love and who love you and your dreams and who you are. I think you know who you are when you're 5. Like you're yourself.
Yeah.
And then you kind of lose it. And I think adulthood is like coming back to who you were before you changed for the rest of the world.
I think sadly sometimes people never come back to who they are. And it breaks my heart. It does, because it's like, that's something I value in my parents is like, they're literally fucking children. They run around and they like splash each other in the pool. And they're just like, they're such children and they're just playing and loving life. And it's so lovely to see. And like, it saddens me because there's so many people that I know that like are my age or even like a year older that are just fucking boring. And they've turned into bots and they used to be funny as fuck. And now they're boring as shit. And it's like, are you happy? You know? And it's, you know what? Not everyone always has to be happy. Like there was a point where I wasn't happy, but do something about it. You know what I mean? Like, I remember my math teacher also had on his wall, it said, do something about it. And I was like, do something about it. Yeah. I was like, do something about it. Do what? Yeah. Do something. Yeah. Do something to change what's happening. Yeah. If you don't like it, change it. Yeah. Now, there's certain situations where, like, you can't make someone like you. Yeah. That'd be...
If somebody doesn't like you, you cannot change how they feel. You can't change how somebody else shows up for you or doesn't show up for you, but you can control your attention. And your attention to things is where your power goes. Let's say fucking Joe Schmo doesn't like me back and I'm fucking hung up on Joe Schmo every day crying, oh my God, Joe Schmo, Joe Schmo. Haley, you're sad and it's your fault right now. Because yeah, Joe Schmo doesn't want to be with you, but guess what? Think about all the people out there who would want to be with you that you aren't even giving the chance because you are choosing to be sad and to be just stuck on Joe Schmo. Whereas if I take my energy and I turn my attention outwards, be like, you know what, Joe Schmo? You don't want me? That's cool. I'm turning my attention away from you now. And you turn it towards the rest of the world and you find all of this abundance and everything is out there and it's what you give your attention to.
That's impeccable. I will say, though, that did bring up something. Hey, girl. She back. I will say though, that brought something up. Once again, disrespectful. Have you heard of the concept limerence?
Yes.
We did, but they don't know. We've discussed this. But first off, what's your opinion? Even though I already know.
I think limerence happens, and I think it serves as a purpose, and you learn and you grow, and that's good.
Well, I was going to say, I think that I struggle with limerence. And like, I think the reason why I do is because I want to believe the best in people. And there's like the version of limerence that's on Google is not my version of limerence. My version of limerence is obsessing over the idea of somebody. Okay. And so like, I feel like I struggle with limerence because I want to think that they can be this person that they just aren't. And I want to will that, and it just can't happen. And then because it won't happen in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just create that reality. Yeah. And then I believe it because I have a fucking powerful mind. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, my distinction between reality and not reality become very intertwined. And it's like, well, what's real and what's not real? You know? So limerence is like literally a real thing, and it like actually sucks. And I would say that was probably what I dealt with in my last situationship. But like, I think, yeah, I don't know. I've just been thinking of like, okay, going into my next relationship, like, how am I like not gonna have limerence again? Yeah. How do you like not do that again? Because I also just like don't want to have like feelings for someone again.
Well, I think that's a little concerning. Maybe look inwards. Because it's okay to have feelings for somebody.
You're like, I can't. Yes, but I feel like for me, is it worth it? Because having feelings means at some point it's going to end. And then at some point you're going to be heartbroken. It's like,
I just don't think the ending of things are what we should be basing our decisions off of, because you don't know all. Like, I think about everyone that I have dated in the past, and it's like, yes, have all of them ended in heartbreak in one way or another? Yes, but they have all brought me to who I am today. Like, they have shown me the tools, they have shown me the parts of myself that I needed to look at. They've shown me like how to be better. Like, I think that there's a purpose always, and I think that also pain, like, that makes music, like that builds connection. Like, I think it's like, I believe that I have gone through so much in my life from such a young age because I am supposed to help people who go through similar things. So I don't think life is supposed to be painless, but I do also think that if you do want to have a partner one day, I think that there's somebody out there who will be right for you, and I don't think that limerence will be an issue in that, because I think when somebody is right for you energetically, you know, and it's not like a big exciting like, oh my god, I really like him, he's so perfect, I'm obsessed with him. I think it's just like you see them and they see you, and it's a level of like knowing and resonating where it's not like limerence of I'm attached to you and I'm attached to this outcome of you. It's just like I resonate with you, and like energetically, like you lift me up, but it's not like an attachment. Like, it's like does that make any sense?
That like fully makes sense, and I do agree. And I think that like, yeah, I like fully see what you're saying. And like, it's funny, a lot of people have told me that before. They're like, Lanie, like you're never gonna be with someone. I'm like, like, I know that I'm not like always gonna be like that, and I think it's just like the realistic, maybe even a little pessimistic side of me of being like, yeah, I just don't want to go through that again. Selfishly, I don't want to go through that again. So I'm like, I'm fine on my own. I'm happy. I'm really, actually really, really happy. And I don't like when I start like thinking about someone, because then it's like, you know, like I feel like when they're like, and this is where it's interesting, because I'm sometimes like, yeah, sure, you go together, but I'm also like, every time I've liked a guy, all of the things that I've been working on get put on pause. Not because they make me, but because I just naturally am like, my attention shifts.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen. That is a big fear of mine, especially on the trajectory I'm going right now. I'm like, I don't have time for a guy. Like, I literally don't have time for a guy, and I don't want to make time. But then I'm also like, I kind of want a summer fling, so.
When they're the right people, they lift you up and they inspire you. Like, I think, like, a true partner is a true best friend. Like, I think having a relationship, I think, could be, like, equally as easy as, like, being friends with me. Like, you just, like, you hang out when you can hang out, and, like, they support you in your dreams and you support them in theirs. But it's like, I'm not going to be pissed off at you if you can't hang out with me. And it's like, I think the right partner will be able to support you in your dreams. And I think if you don't feel like that's something that you want and that you desire right now, that's fine. You don't have to.
Do you believe in soulmates?
1,000,000%. I do believe in soulmates, but someone explained soulmates to me in a different way that I think I've really resonated with recently, where it's like, you are a puzzle piece, and on your puzzle piece, you've got 4 sides. So let's say you've already met one of your soulmates that you like know for sure in your gut. You're like, that was one of my soulmates. But guess what? There's other pieces of the puzzle that can still fit in with you, and maybe they can fit in better. I know, that like completely changed my whole perspective on it.
You could have another soulmate.
I think you can have many soulmates. I don't think that there's just one.
Do you think you've met your soulmate?
I think I've met a version of my soulmate. For sure.
I would say the same.
And I think there's like there's like platonic and then like non-platonic versions. And I think I'll go forward in life and I'll meet other soulmates. And honestly, I think I used to worry a lot about like, oh my God, do soulmates exist? Is true love real? Am I going to find my person? Blah, blah, blah. And I think recently I found a lot of peace in knowing that whatever is meant to be on my path is going to be on my path. And if it's not meant to be on my path, it is going to be ripped from my life no matter what. It's going to be taken away. And that's fine. There's nothing I can do about it. But if something is meant to be on my path, it will be on my path. So it's like, okay, if I'm meant to love someone in the future, then I will. But if not, I know that my path is bigger than that.
For me, I find myself sometimes like, I'll be like, yeah, no, like I'm fine. And like, like at one point I'll find someone, but then sometimes I flip out and I'm like, what if I never find anyone? Because like a lot of, like, I'm like, wait, like what if it never happens? Because it's actually, and it's funny, I was talking to my mom the other day because she's like, before I met your dad, like, not gonna lie, I was slim picking. She was like, literally, Lanie, like, there's nobody out there. So finding your person is fucking impossible. And I actually don't think you find your person. I think they find you.
I agree. And I don't think it's impossible. I think that a lot of it, at least what I have been struggling with, is having negative perceptions of the people around me. Like, I have this generalization in my head, like, people who are born and raised in California are boring and bland and not very deep. Honestly, you and Megan might be the first people I've ever met who are born and raised in California who break that stereotype. You guys are boring and raised. No. But I was like, no, like, that's my perspective. If I go into my day-to-day life and I say, people who are from California and Southern California are superficial and boring, then that's exactly what I find in the people around me. Like, I look for things that affirm my beliefs. So if I believe that finding a partner or finding someone is difficult and it's slim pickings, then I'm going to look for the people who affirm my beliefs. So if you change...
Don't you want it to be difficult and slim pickings? Because that means, like...
Do I want it to be difficult? No. I think I have this belief that life is meant to be easy. Like, truly effortless when you get into, like, the flow of your path and who you're meant to be. And I think it will be effortless when you meet your person. And yes, there's going to be hardships. Like, you're going to have to fucking communicate and, like, face your demons if you haven't faced your demons yet and work through them, whatever the fuck. But I think that it just flows. And I don't think that it's something that's like, oh, fuck, it's hard to meet your person. Like, no, I don't think you have to kill yourself going on fucking Hinge dates to meet your love of your life. Like, oh, it's a numbers game. If I just go on 50 Hinge dates, I'm bound to meet someone who I could marry. No, I think the effortless part of it, where it's like, it's so easy to meet your person, is like when you fully align to your path and to yourself, you will naturally put yourself in the places where your person would already be. And it's like, and you're going to be shining at like the energetic vibration that they're going to be able to recognize you at.
my God. That was so perfectly spoken, and that was amazing. That was so good. Well, I was going to say, what was it going to show? What were you just saying like before that? Oh, when you said it's supposed to be, I'm so glad I remembered. I would have been so bummed. When you said it was supposed to be simple, obviously this isn't about like love, but you said life is supposed to be simple. And I think a perfect example of that was when you, me, and Meg were in the water the other day.
Yes.
And we were just swimming.
Yes.
Like I was like, this is life. Yes. You know, like this is the beauty.
I agree. I think that is the beauty. And I also think like, I don't know, I think friendships like this and like when you meet people like this who you truly feel like you can talk to and connect to, even when sometimes I feel crazy thinking certain things, but when I meet someone else who also thinks similar things that are kind of crazy and outlandish, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. Like that's like what life is for. And it's like life is for experiencing and growing and like having the opportunity to positively impact someone and motivate them to pursue something. Like that is like true purpose. And so here we are. We're living, and I think you're doing a good job, and I think we're wrapping this up.
We got it.
It's been 2 hours.
I know, I was going to say. I cannot believe we've yapped for 2 hours, but I'll be honest, like, I noticed only because the sun went down, and also, like, at this point, my, like, ideas were, I could talk until my head turned blue, but, like, at a certain point, I'm just literally getting tired, but this was really fun. And if you ever get the chance to be on In My Era podcast, one might say it's life-changing.
Amen. Well, thank you for coming on and bringing your ideas and all of your thoughts. I hope to have you on soon, and I'm excited to see where your music journey goes. And yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. Honestly, this was really fun. And like in the beginning, like I was saying, I was like, I was really nervous. And I was like, what are we going to talk about? Yep. But now I'm like eating Skittles and I'm like, oh, this thing isn't even here anymore.
Yeah. All right. If you guys are watching, I love you. And I'll see you next week. Bye.